What's up, music world? Tommy Bauer here, the CEO and founder of the Headline Music mobile app. Today marks the second episode of the new Friday feature interview series. We have a special guest today coming out of LA. Her name is Mia Mormino. She's a 20-year-old pop hip hop artist, and I'm very excited to host her. Without further ado, Mia Mormino. All right, so episode 2, I'm here with Mia Mormino coming all the way from LA. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Can't complain.
Good. I'm excited to have you on. I feel like it's been a while. And for those of you who don't know, Mia is actually one of the pioneers of the Headline Music mobile app. She was one of the first people to put her music on there. So I just wanted to host this interview and partially as a thank you for putting your music on there, but also because I'm interested in your story. So we're going to cut right down to the chase.
Perfect.
Okay. So the first question is very simple. It's just going to be, how did you get your start in the music industry?
Okay, so I got my start in the music industry. There wasn't really like a point in my life where, well, okay. Let me think. So from like the age of 3, I've been dancing and singing. I've been doing it my entire life, and for a long time, I was more focused on being a dancer, and I wanted to go to Juilliard and pursue that as my career. But as I started getting older, I kind of was started going through more life experiences as we all do when we grow up. And I was like, okay, I need something that's a more like direct, streamlined way of releasing what I'm feeling rather than dancing to a song. So I was like, I'm gonna try and write my own song. Like, let's just see how it goes. And as soon as I did that, I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I found what I'm supposed to do. Like, the feeling that I got from the whole process of, going through the stuff that I went through and then writing about it and then recording it and releasing it, like it was the most insane process in the entire world. And the very first time that I was in the recording studio, I could like hear my own heartbeat through the headphones because I was so nervous because that was like my first time ever doing anything like that. So I think just my start in the music industry was really just going through crappy life experiences and me being very creative. I was like, okay, let's see how I can like turn this into something cool rather than me just like sitting in my room crying. That is my answer.
Okay. How old were you when you wrote that first song then? You must have been pretty young. I mean, I know, are you even 21 now?
No,
Not yet.
no, I just turned 20 like less than a month ago. So
Okay.
not 21 just yet, but I wrote my first song when I was 16.
16. Okay.
I mean, I've written little like things here and there when I was way younger, but nothing that made sense or could be used. Like it just was me trying to,
Yeah.
be creative. But yeah, 16 was when I wrote that song, and that song's called Conflicted,
Conflicted.
which was my first release. Yeah,
All right. So speaking of songs that you've written then, which song do you think is your favorite song to play live, would you say?
I would say Over It. Over It is by far my favorite because I have like a full band behind me. I have an amazing guitar player. His name's Noel. I have an amazing piano player. His name is Caro, and then an incredible drummer, and his name is Jordan. We recently I just headlined like my first show um, about a month ago. No, a couple weeks ago. I don't know. It's all but yeah, I just headlined my first show and that was absolutely insane. And playing Over It, like everyone loves it so much because it's so cool live. Like Over It's probably one of my favorite songs that's released, but to perform, some songs do better, some songs do worse. Like just kind of depends on the vibe. And this one is really cool because it's so like edgy and just, F you and
So how did that show go then? Was there a big crowd? Did you draw a lot of people or where was it?
It was at this place called Adults Only in LA. It's like a bar lounge, and it's really cool because the entranceway is like a vintage like adult film store. Not like the gross kind of stuff, but
Okay.
like, that kind of thing. So it was really cool, and then you like go through these like curtains, and it's this giant lounge with like a full bar and like a pool table and like a bunch of seating. So it was so damn fun, and I drove a lot of people in, which was really awesome. A lot of people that I didn't know that came, so it was a very like small taste of like what I want to do, like on a giant level. So it was a blast. I had so much fun.
I was gonna say, how was it being underage in the bar?
Um, so it's a 21 and over like bar, but because I was performing, it was fine that I wasn't 21. But that was actually my first time like in like a club setting. Like I've been to bars in terms of like, if there's a restaurant and there's a bar kind of thing, but
Right.
my friends aren't 21 yet, so we can't really. And I have a fake, but like I don't because like it's just I feel weird about it. But yeah, so that was my first time being like in a club setting. So I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. I
Yeah,
can't.
I gotcha. That's funny. So I wanted to talk about one of the music videos that I watched recently, and it was called Stuck. And so I thought that was a very artsy style music video. It looked like you put a lot of thought and creativity into that one. So I just want to hear from your side. What exactly is that about, briefly? And, what did it take in terms of production and getting people together and coordinating and everything like that? How was that process?
Yeah. So sorry.
All good.
Okay. Um. So yeah. So Stuck is my fourth music video release of the year. I have two music videos that are like features with other artists, and then I have an additional one that's just like my own. Um, and Stuck was or is the biggest production, biggest budget that like I've ever done for a video. Mainly because this song when I was creating it, no pun intended, like stuck to me so much that I was like, I have to do something with this because I feel like it's so different from my usual style, and I really want to showcase the variety that I have with my voice and with my image because I don't want to be known as just like, the girl that wears little clothing and like sings about ex-boyfriends. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I want to be more than just that because I know inside I am more than just that. So I wrote this song at like 3 in the morning at an ex-boyfriend's house while I was waiting for him to like get back from work. And it was right after I listened to Billie Eilish's new album, and I was like so damn inspired and just sitting there like I have to create something like this. Like this is so cool and edgy and dark. And I'm a pretty like dark person, even though I'm very bubbly and like outgoing. Like I have my moments of just being.
Of course.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna tap into that side of me and write about something that's super personal for me, and that's like having mental breakdowns. Because I mean, we all have them. I don't think people really like to talk about them that often, which is fine. Like I get it. But I really like talking about the things that people don't like to talk about, like with my music. So I wrote this song basically describing like the entire process of a mental breakdown for me. And that's like, you just have to leave me alone. Like I need to go in my room. I need to close the doors so no one can see me and that I won't feel judged. Um, and I love the song so much that I knew I had to do something visually for it. And I, was listening to the song a bunch and like nothing was really like clicking for me. And then one night at like 3 in the morning, I swear like the best things happen at like 3 in the morning.
Nothing good happens after 3 in the morning.
But I was sitting in my bed just like listening to it, and I started writing down like every idea and thought that I had when I listened to the song. And then all of a sudden it's cool because you can see like my transition from like a small idea, and then it would slowly trickle into like the idea of the castle and like the princess and the dark queen. And I felt like I was in a movie, like when someone starts having like a mental like push through kind of thing and you just start writing and you have like this whole you know thing happen for you. That was kind of like what it felt like because I it clicked for me. And then I started hiring all of the crew, which I met my director through a different music video shoot that I was on. And just went from there. Like because I'm like independent, excuse me, because I'm an independent artist and I don't have management, I don't have a label, I don't have anything behind me besides me. I mean, my family is a huge, huge like support system, but in terms of money, like it's all me. So I create everything. Like I do the location scouting, I do the costume design, the makeup because I'm a makeup artist. Hire all the crew. I obviously write the songs. I find all the people, create the concept. So it's everything that you see is from my brain basically. And I really take like a lot of pride in that just because I work really hard at what I do and I don't have people spoon feeding me answers and having mommy and daddy pay for everything. Like that's not how you're gonna, go far in life, regardless of what it is that you want to do, if you have someone doing everything for you. So that video is like a prime example of just hard work. And if you want something, you have to work for it, and then hopefully you'll get it. And for me, that was just like having the whole thing to come together and the contact lenses and the makeup and all that kind of stuff. Like it's such a blast for me, but it is a lot of work. Let me tell you, contracts and insurance and money, but it's all worth it.
Good, yeah. I was gonna say, that's one thing that I love about you and your story in particular is just the fact that, and I'm sure you get this a lot, but just the fact that you are under 21 years old and, coming from someone who knows what it takes to, start a business or whatever it is that you want to do that you want to see succeed. I don't think people realize a lot of the time the actual amount of work it takes to really take it to the next level. There's a big difference between, making a couple songs and putting them on, SoundCloud or Spotify or something like that, and then just kind of like
Letting
almost letting it sit and then thinking that you're going to just somehow get picked up or whatever the case may be because you made a couple songs. I mean, you're out there doing everything that you said with the videographer, the director, you're hiring these people, you're trying to find a way to make the money come in because it's not always there. You're living in LA, which is crazy expensive, I mean, there's a lot of things and factors that I think like the average viewer might not actually realize like what it actually takes to get to the next level. And I've seen, motivational speakers speak on this all the time, and I think that that's one of the reasons that makes them so great is that like they've done it so they know what it actually
exactly.
takes, and so it looks like you're on your way there, and that's what I loved about the video and seeing the production quality and stuff. It was just like this is someone who's actually has a real shot at making it and can make it because they've put in the work and they're like not afraid to get their hands dirty is what I like about it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And a big thing for me, or something that I really like doing, is I love making behind the scenes videos for my music videos, because it gives you like a glimpse a little bit about the work that goes into making a video. Doesn't matter what your budget is. Like, if you want something to turn out well, you gotta put the work in. Like, regardless, doesn't matter what it's about. But music videos in particular, I feel like you can kind of tell when something is half-assed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So with the behind the scenes videos, it's so fun for me because I love like editing and like I like doing all the graphic stuff, like the graphic design stuff. But you can kind of see a little bit about the amount of work that goes into it and the parts that may not be the prettiest, but you don't see it in the video because like, the video is the video. But I think it's good for people to see without giving away like my secrets and my how I found certain people. Like I'm not about that, but I'm always down to show people like that shit happens and like life will happen and things will get in the way, but if you want something, you can't let it stop you. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate that, and I'm happy to give you the accolades that you deserve.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk just real quick about. I like asking this question, so I wanted to hear it from your point of view. But what is one thing that you would change about the music business if you could? And that could be anything, just like anything that you have struggled with as an artist in the studio, or just some of the games that like managers can play, or labels getting attention from them, that type of thing.
Yeah, so two things that kind of come to mind for me. One of them is the whole like social media thing. It's so like sad to me to see that if you have X amount of followers, like it doesn't matter if you sound like crap because you have a following and people are going to listen and people are going to put money into you. So that is something that I wish so badly like wasn't such a huge factor in making it these days, is having the following on Instagram. And because I see so many of these Instagram models who are models or who do whatever they do, and then they go into music, but because they have such a big following, their music doesn't sound good, first of all. And I'm not trying to be rude, but like it's not,
Yeah, I
they're
get
not,
it.
you know,
It's not authentic.
no, exactly. And then they all of a sudden have like 100,000 monthly listeners, and it's like things that people like me that work so hard at to just get people to listen to my music, that when I see people like that, I get so jealous, and it's really just jealousy. That's what it comes down to. But if I could change it, that'd be great. So really, I just have to work on changing that for myself. But I kind of just wish it was a little bit more old-fashioned, meaning like if you have the talent, then you'll get noticed, and it's going to be hard to get noticed, but not everyone can do it. Like because Instagram in particular is such a huge platform, everyone and their mom is doing music now. Like it's you're not special if you do music, so you have to really work hard at making yourself different, which can be a pro and a con. So that's definitely one thing that I kind of wish was a little bit different. And the other thing is, I know that I don't want this to sound like, every other girl out there, but it's kind of sucky when like someone reaches out to you for different reasons than wanting to make music
Sure.
with you. Because I've come into a couple of situations that could have been really good, but because I basically didn't want to sleep with them, they were like, "Oh, I'm not interested anymore." So it
Hmm.
sucks, and I know it probably goes the other way too, like for guys and for girls. But yeah, one time in particular, I like had a meeting with a producer in LA, and I like reached out to these guys. Like I was super pumped to work. Like I really wanted to work with them, and I am super professional when I like send out my emails, and I'm asking for see if they're interested in collaborating. Like very professional. Like I'm not here to mess around. And I met this guy. We, had great conversation about music and started asking me questions about like my personal life and like dating and if I was dating anyone. And at the time I was, and all of a sudden he was like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool. Like by the way, like we're not actually open to any features right now, but maybe in the future." And I was like, "What? Like you knew why we were meeting right now? Like you knew that it's because I wanted to collaborate, and then as soon as I said I had a boyfriend, you like went the
Right.
other way." So it sucks because it unfortunately happens, but I'm hoping that with more, female artists taking a stand, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't want to sound like one of those girls that's like, guys suck, because, I mean, girls suck too. But I just wish it was a little bit more, like, fair in that sense, I guess. But then, I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. I feel like I think it's good that you did say something about that because that just goes to show that A, that can happen at any age, right? And B, it does happen on a regular basis, right? I mean, if it happened to you, there's probably a lot of people that it has happened to that, that just choose not to talk about it. And I think that was something you touched on earlier. There's a lot of things that people choose not to talk about, whether it's because they don't want it to affect their image or they think that people will look negatively upon it. But I'm glad that you did touch base on that because for one, whoever that was a total idiot, and just number two, yeah, I mean that just goes to show like how crazy the music business can be. There's a lot of things that people are too naive to, and they don't want to believe that that stuff actually happens. But the moral of the story is that it does. And so the more you talk about it, the more different people get exposed, and the more I think you'll see a lot less of that happen.
I'm hoping, like, you know, basically, like, all that I wish was different or is different is that it was a more even playing field, Like, the music industry is so male dominant, and it just kind of I feel like you almost don't get taken seriously if you're like a girl trying to do music, which sucks because I mean look at Beyonce and Rihanna and Lady Gaga. Like these are all artists that literally were like, all right, screw that. Like I'm still gonna make it. So I wish it was a little bit more like even in terms
Hmm.
of like guy to girl ratio.
Sure.
But hopefully in the future that can be something that changes. So in the meantime, you just got to keep pushing through and disregarding the ones that want you for one reason and then focus on the ones that want you for actually making music.
I agree, and that's why I can tell you just firsthand that that's obviously not what Headline's about, and that's why I love Headline so much is because it does give you an even opportunity to become successful. It's all based on your sound, and it's just you know if you have that good sound that people enjoy, and you're in a category of music and you're all together in that category because of the swiping and the randomness of it, it lets people decide for themselves, not based on appearance, but based on how you actually sound, And so
Exactly.
that's I feel like why I did this is because we needed that change and we needed the way different ways to get exposed over just a physical appearance and uh, you know just like you know what I mean.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And that's it's such a good idea because like you said, it doesn't matter like what you look like, it doesn't matter what your following is like. If you like a song, you like a song. So it shouldn't matter about all those other things in terms of the listener choosing music that is, that they can connect to. So I totally agree, and that's why I think this app is so great, and I think it could really make a difference in the music industry. Because there really isn't anything like this, and it's such a good idea. It's kind of like the Tinder for music, but like instead of your pictures, it's like your music.
Right.
So cool because it's so easy to just go through songs, but you don't have to worry about anything else but that song. So I love it.
Good. Appreciate that. Thanks for the shout out.
Oh,
I just wanted to also, I guess, now that we're coming to a close, I just wanted to ask you one final question, and that's just with the end of the year coming up in 2020 on the horizon, what can we expect from Mia Mormino? Is there anything that you want your fans or followers to know about you? Anything big coming through the pipeline? What do you have for us?
for 2020, the main thing for me is so for basically my entire life, I've been like very clouded in terms of my vision about who I am as a person and my self-worth, and that kind of has to do with like what I write about and like relationships and all that kind of stuff. So going into this year, this is like the first year that I'm genuinely happy, like going into the new year.
Good.
And I'm really excited because now that I kind of know who I am and I know what I'm worth on the inside, things are starting to change for me on the outside, whether that be with my music career, with relationships, with my family. So I'm so excited to see what this year has in store for me, as like corny and cliche as that sounds. But I genuinely do mean it because this is like the first year that I'm not living in the past, and I'm, more confident than I ever have been, and I believe in myself, and that's been a huge, huge, huge thing for me my entire life, just like having that confidence and believing in, what I do and why I do it. Just in terms of like feeling like I'm good enough or not. So with this new year, I'm like so excited just to see like what different opportunities come up, and new songs that I'm going to be releasing. I have like some of my favorite songs I've ever written are coming out next year, so I'm like thrilled about that. I'm planning on dropping a song on Valentine's Day, so that's something you can like look out for. Um, it's a very sassy Valentine's Day song, so that should be like exciting. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep writing new music, and I'm currently communicating with some really big producers, so that should be like huge if everything goes through. Yeah, so I'm just excited to like go into this year happy and grateful and with a good mindset and clear vision, and yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad to see that you're glowing with confidence right now, and that you can tell that you have a lot less self doubt. You're more sure about yourself. You're growing as an individual, and that's always exciting to see from people that are younger than me. It's nice to see that there are some people out there in the generation that's coming up that still have those career oriented goals that they want to achieve. And I just appreciate you coming on the show, and thank you for making episode 2 so special. And it was great to talk to you. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of the big things that you have coming up.
Thank you so much for wanting to interview me and promoting me and believing in me. I appreciate it probably more than I can explain, so thank you very much.
No problem. It was our pleasure. We will talk to you soon, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right. Adios.
Adios.
Bye.